Hey guys, Dr. Russell here. This is a video where Dr. Russell answers everything. Not really. I'm actually going to make two videos, okay? One for those who just want the meat and potatoes, and then there'll be another one with a little bit more detail, okay? And so here's the idea. We have been hard at work, believe it or not, right? It's taken a minute for me to get back to you. There's a lot to think about, right? And let me ask you a question though. When you're answering the phone, how often do you just say hello versus crazy times, right? It's crazy times. We recognize that. One of my priorities is to make sure that I take care of my patients. I'm thinking about you a lot. I woke up at 5 a.m. today and all through the weekend, and since you've seen me last, I've been doing that. I think you'll see and be impressed with what it is I have planned for you, so that I can address each and every concern for every patient one by one. And so please pay attention to these videos. I actually want some comments. I want some feedback so that I can answer additional questions. I'm going to try to think of every little thing, but alas, I will not. And so we'll just interact, okay? And so the purpose of this video, frankly, is to let you know what we're up to, what we're doing, and how it is we can take a little bit of the stress and strain away from your orthodontic treatment and maybe even make a little bit of progress while we're on some downtime. One of the big questions that we have is, when are we going to start seeing patients again? Exactly. I mean, what orthodontist doesn't want to see patients? I don't know, right? I do. And so the red hot second that we're allowed and we can do it safely and keep you protected and our team, then that's when we're going to start. I'm using May 1st as a hopeful estimate, okay? And that'll come into play later when I explain what it is we're going to do when we reach out to you in terms of rescheduling. So one thing I do want you to think about, because this is a huge point, each one of you is a priority. That being said, we're a medium-sized practice, but we still see about 60 patients a day. And if you do the math over 6 to 8 weeks, we're talking 1,000 people who have become a priority the very first day that we come back. We're going to have some logistical challenges thought through, and that's what this is all about. So please pay attention and maybe even take a look at that second video that I'm going to put out, because it's going to have a little bit more detail. What I'm going to do now though is describe for you the purposes of this video so that you'll know a little bit more about what's going on and how it affects you. All right, guys, listen, this should go without saying, right? But I'm going to say it anyway. We're taking this pandemic extraordinarily seriously. You know, I'm from Albany. Heck, you can imagine they've been hit particularly hard. We've got staff members whose children are on the front lines in healthcare. They're concerned, worried to death, frankly. We've already lost someone, a friend of the practice, to some tragic circumstances, and we've already learned of one person that has passed. Certainly there are those patients that are listening to this that also have similar concerns, and I'm praying for you guys. I'm thinking about you guys very much. And so with that being said, what I ask of you though is watch the news to get that sort of information. For me, what I'd like you to allow me to do is remain upbeat and be me. You know, have a silly side. I'm going to be communicating with you, and then sometimes very seriously like this, and other times I'm going to try to add a little bit, inject a little bit of levity into your life, and try to have a little bit of fun with what really could be a very boring thing called, how do we get through this and appoint people and get them reappointed, and maybe even do some practical matters such as virtual appointments and stuff, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. Maybe that's what we all need right now. We're watching puppy videos, and maybe if you can have a little bit of fun with some of these videos, that's the intention, okay? Thank you. Okay. For those of you who are only going to watch the first video, how do I nutshell this? Here's the idea. We're going to be reaching out to each and every one of you. We have a dual priority called those patients who are scheduled this week, the current week, whatever that is. And we got to make up for a couple of weeks because we've been working us out, all the logistics and the protocols and what it is we're going to be doing. But the point is, sit tight. We're thinking about you, and we're going to contact you. We're going to let you know whether or not you are the lucky patient who might actually be able to progress their treatment with a virtual appointment and actually be rescheduled in such a way that we can take the pressure off of the initial weeks, catching up for those of you who are in another boat called, you gotta get in as soon as you can get in, and we're gonna triage you and prioritize you, I promise you. The other thing is we got big, beautiful new offices that we can all spread out. I'm going to be posting some videos about our patient-only time, which is essentially one appointment time from the time that we come back, where I would love it if parents, you would allow your child to come in. We're going to take good care of them, but we're going to have a decreased patient flow and social distancing in the office. We're going to have to think through as far as scheduling a lighter load, right? So we have increased demand but we need a lighter load. So we're going to be working harder. We're going to be expanding our hours. We're going to be figuring this out, and I want us to actually impress you the way we handle this. As long as you understand what we're up against, I think that when it's all said and done, come summertime, when we're past the spectacle of COVID, you'll agree that we did the best we possibly could. So that's the idea, right? So we're going to be reaching out to each and every one of you and identifying you as one of the following. Those who need to get in the red hot second we can possibly get you in, and you will be triaged based on how critical a position you're in, okay? And whether or not you've been waiting for 1 week or 8, if that makes sense. I'm pointing to May 1st as a tentative date that we might be able to go back, but it's all guesswork, right? And so we're going to be, for those for whom we can do a virtual exam, we're going to accomplish that, do whatever we need to do to keep you moving forward, and then schedule you from May 1st out a normal amount of time. It will remain tentative, of course, because all of this could change in the future, but we've got all that figured out as well. We're going to be in constant communication. Don't you worry. There are those of you for whom we're going to have to see you as soon as we get back. And so, of course, we're going to expand our hours, as I said, and we're also got some new protocols in terms of how it is we're going to see patients with a lighter load, but actually be a little bit more strategic about how it is we do it. For instance, there are patients who are blowing my phone up because they want their braces off yesterday and don't understand why they can't be seen. Well, I want to see you. I want to take care of you. You got to believe me, okay? All right, listen, so if you're going to have to guess as to how it is your situation is going to be handled, there's a few scenarios. So that's the first thing to ask yourself. Am I an Invisalign patient, an aligner patient? You're probably in a pretty good spot. There's a couple of scenarios where I need to see you next because I do the little polishing in between teeth, for instance, to make a little bit of space, and you simply can't move forward. It's still a bonus. You're essentially in a retainer. Nothing bad is happening. So you're going to stay in your current aligner as a retainer. Once you've finished wearing your final aligner that you have, that I've given you, you can just move to a 12-hour-a-day protocol, and you're in a nice, safe holding pattern until we're able to get you in. We're going to reach out to you and hold your hand, let you know specifically your particular scenario. There are other aligner cases, though, that, hey, looks great. Let's do a FaceTime together. Let me see how your aligners are tracking, much like you would be in the office. And we're actually going to give you and make available your aligner so that you can continue to make progress. That's wonderful. Retainer patients, I want to see you. I want you to submit photos through our virtual connectedness at virtual@russellorthodontics.com. So it's virtual@russell-orthodontics.com. You don't have to remember it because we're going to be reaching out to you individually and holding your hand as to what it is that you're supposed to do. Recalls. Of course we want to get you past all of this. We don't want to expose anyone, even though we're going to have enhanced protocols, social distancing, no-touch protocols. Pay attention to some of these videos that I'm going to be producing for you guys so that you can see just to what lengths we're going to make sure that you guys are safe, but also taking care of you and making sure that your treatment is progressing if at all possible. We're going to be left with a smaller group of patients for whom we're just going to have to see you as soon as we possibly can, starting the red hot minute that we're allowed and it's safe. All right, so one scenario was, and I've heard this from other orthodontists, they're like, hey, you know, all we're doing is just staggering the entire schedule out, and whenever we get back, it's just starting back where we left off. I hear you, but all that's doing, in my opinion, is putting everyone out the maximum amount of time in terms of delay. And there are certainly more serious circumstances for some than others, as you will gather from some of the videos that we're putting out, including this one. And so it seems better to me then to go ahead and advance treatment for those who can and to prioritize those for whom treatment is more critical. And that's why it is I want you to listen out for our call and work with us, please. It's going to be better for everyone. You know, I've got some patients that we've already done virtual exams or virtual appointments even, and their treatment is progressing. They come and picked up their aligners and they're moving on and hunky-dory. Lucky you, right? I have other patients that are texting our phone, our cell phone, and by the way, we're always available through our cell clinic phone, and that's 770-731-9311. You can always ping us if you have a question or concern. But the point is, we're getting a couple of texts from patients who said something was bothering me, so I took this out, and now their wires are out, nothing's happening, their teeth are moving, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I need to see them as quickly as possible. And so you can imagine that there's going to be a triaging effect for those in different circumstances. So listen, for those of you who stuck to the end, I just made an executive decision. I'm not making 2 videos. I want to hear your feedback. I want to see what questions you have before I post another one because I pretty much covered the basics. And so here's another thing I'd like to say. Thank you. No joke. All of you have been so understanding, and I mean awesome, because I've been wondering, what are my patients thinking for these last week and a half where I'm trying to sort out how's my staff going to get taken care of. I need them to be whole. They are my team. They are my family. So we've got our team taken care of, and I want my patients taken care of. I take this stuff home. I go to sleep with it. I care about you, okay? But I appreciate you guys very, very much. And listen out. Please stay tuned to Facebook. That's how I'm communicating. We're gonna have a little fun with it, okay? But also what we're really gonna do is try to make orthodontics the least headache you have, because this is a crazy time, right? I'm thinking about you guys. I love you guys. And I cannot wait to see you again. So if you ever wonder, when do I get in? It's like the second I can, because I miss you. There's no such thing as an orthodontist doesn't want to see patients. I want to see you guys, okay? So I've got my finger on the pulse of things, and by God, we're going to get this back to normal. And God be with you. God bless you, and be well.